Hi, welcome to Class 2. Welcome you guys, thanks for coming out. For those of you at home, we will be passing out some flyers today, but you should have the certain things in your email, all of you, and I'll indicate that. But there's other things that you have to pick up when you come into the office for those of you at home. And then those of you who are here, again, I already sent you an email with some things, but you're going to get hard copy samples today as well. So I'll explain. So the first thing, we just have a whole bunch of announcements. So if anybody has any questions at home, you can always contact your SSS advisor and to clarify. We have just general, not specific to the class, just general announcements first. And those would be, we finally have the 2013 spring event calendar, even though it's February, and we're in week 6, but please take one and pass it around. And you'll see on there that tomorrow night, which is the 14th, there is a job shadowing, internship, and volunteering seminar. It's not required that you all attend, but you are more than welcome to come, okay? And then for social events for SSS, can't remember the exact date here, March 4th is movie night. So that means you meet here, and we get to go to the Cheesecake Factory for cheesecake and a movie of your choice for free. And this is for all SSS students. So you guys are obviously included in that. And our next Right Start class meets on March 6th, okay? Any questions so far? Bruce, can you pass it? Okay. And then the other announcement I have that's general, the ARC is now doing a series of events that are open to all undergrads. And one of those is this leadership seminar. So I really think it's a good idea if you guys attend, but again, it's not required. It's on a Wednesday, so I know some of you may have class on Wednesday nights. You do have to RSVP for this, okay? And the information's on the bottom. The actual seminar is the 20th, which is next Wednesday at 5, starts at 5:30 and they're serving food. So the seminar begins at 6. But you please, if you're gonna come, register so they have enough food, okay? So please take one of those. Okay. Now, the next set of information is specific to this class, okay? So I emailed you all, including those of you at home, I emailed you all the question packet, information about the career fair, and some information about budgets. So we're going to cover all of that next. But before I move on, are there any questions about anything I've already said? I know I keep asking that, I just want to make sure. So, as you all know, as part of the course, you're supposed to attend the career fair. If there's a problem, you should talk to your SSS advisor tonight, or those of you at home, talk to them as soon as possible. It is on the 20th, the same day as the leadership seminar, but different times. The career fair is from 10 to 3 in the Union. For those of you who are doing technical, like IT or technical majors, as far as I know, that's only one person here, right? Or, well, you as well, Bruce? Okay, you and Dorietta. So that's on Tuesday. So those of you at home, if anyone's doing a technical or IT major, that type of thing, you want to make sure that you go on Tuesday or both. You guys are welcome to go both days. I sent the email out. I'm going to pass this around as well, just so you have a hard copy. But the email has a link that you can click where you can see what employers have already signed up to come to the event. Okay. And if you haven't already done so, you should have your resume ready to go for them. Okay? And that was part of your requirements for Unit 1. Any questions? Just interrupt me if you have questions. Now, I had very good questions the past couple weeks from students regarding the question packets and the requirements for the class. We are not going to take points off if you don't have everything done today for Unit 1, okay? The reason we're doing it in units, though, is so that you don't wait until the last minute to do everything at once. So just because you didn't do your mock interview yet doesn't mean you're going to get a bad grade. You just have to have everything done by the 10th, including your portfolio and your presentations. But we're giving it to you in a suggested unit format, so you have things done along the way. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm going to pass out the question packet for Unit 2. You also, again, have it in the email, those of you at home. When you come into the office, if you're taking the class, TBA, you can pick up a hard copy too if you'd like. But you guys know you can type in the document that I emailed. So. Can you do those? Okay. Here you go. How many of you have done your mock interviews already? One person? Okay. Did you have to do a mini mock first?
No.
Okay. There may have been some misconceptions going around. Someone told me this, and it's not true, I guess, that you had to do a mini mock interview before you did the one where they record it and give you feedback. But you just have to have time to, thank you. You have to have time to schedule a mock interview and do it. You don't have to do a mini one first. However, I know I keep emphasizing this, but make sure that you have enough time. So if you go over there or call them, you can schedule your mock interview, have them review your resume. If you haven't done that already, that's the #1 thing you should do. Schedule an assessment, because remember you guys have to do an assessment for this class. All right? So you can schedule all of those things at once.
If I may add something.
Yes, please.
For the interview, when they record, you have the option for a half-hour or a 1-hour interview. I would recommend the 1 hour just because you're going to be spending the first 20 so minutes with the interview. The rest of the time will be to either see the recording, get your feedback. So that might be more beneficial for some people if you have the time.
Right. Do I need to repeat that? Or?
He's got it.
You got it? Okay. So thank you, Kevin. That's a very good suggestion. So again, just to review, because I had questions about this too, these questions your answers will go in your portfolio, okay? So one of the, under finances on the front page, it says, find the median salary for your occupation in your future city of residence. So that means you guys are going to pretend, well, not pretend. If you're going to stay in Pittsburgh, you would use Pittsburgh. If you're going to go, if you really want to live in Boston, you would use Boston. Any cities? Throw out cities. Where do you want to?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Los Angeles.
LA.
New York.
New York.
Tampa.
Tampa.
I was thinking Boston or New York.
Boston, New York.
Chicago.
Chicago. So pick the city of your choice, or, you know, if we want you to do this for real life, but if you just pick one, that's fine. The process is to know how to find things out. So if you end up in Boise, Idaho, you never know, you would know how to research cost of living and all that. So what you would do is you can use the OOH or just Google median salary for screenwriter in LA, okay? And see what comes up. And then using that salary, you're going to fill out the budget form. Now, let me pass those out. There's two, and I'll explain why there's two, because I didn't explain this in the email. You want to take one of each and please pass. So, using the handout that's coming around, those are hard copies that you can use as a test, or I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But in the email, they're Excel files. So what's nice about them is when you put in the numbers, it automatically fills in. Okay, so it calculates for you. And there's a nice little graph for one of them that'll show you a pie chart as to where your money's going. Okay? So we want you to include this in your portfolio. And the reason that there is two is the one with the green on it that's coming around. I'll let you guys all get one. One is for now, and one is for the future. So again, even though you may just be pretending that you're moving to Boston, it's just a projection so you can see how to do this. So the one with the green and the light blue at the top that says student budget, this is reality. This is now, okay? So for those of you at home, it's the one that says student budget. This is what you're actually paying now. So I know some of you may still live on campus, or you may live at home. Then obviously your rent, if you live at home, would be 0. Your rent, if you live on campus, would be what you're paying for housing. So you can adjust this. And you can work with your advisor on that if you need to. But this is now. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions? The blue one is where you use your city in the future. That makes it sound like it's like Star Wars or something. Or dystopian like the Hunger Games. District 12. The personal monthly budget is where you find your median salary for your career choice and your city that you want to live in. Does that make sense to everybody? I know I keep repeating myself, I just want to make sure. And it says projected cost and actual cost. That's because you're projecting what you think you're going to pay, and then if you find out the actual cost is something else. So this is more of an exercise in what am I spending, what do I think I'm going to spend, and what I'm actually spending. But as you all know, this is in the future anyway, so you can just guesstimate, all right? But we want you to do the research. How much do you think something costs? How much do you think a 1-bedroom costs in LA? How much do you think a studio costs in New York City? And then really find out how much it costs and put that in there. Does that make sense? Okay. So even though I keep saying this is, pretend, it really is beneficial and it will become reality soon. Okay? All right. So that's what the question packet is referring to. And lastly, I have 2 more handouts. We have a lot of handouts tonight, guys. If anybody wants a folder, I'll grab them and you can have one at the break, okay? What's coming around is, today we're talking about World of Work. I guess I should have said that at the beginning. But World of Work includes what? What are some things you guys think that includes? Shout them out. Well,
Interviews.
interviews.
Salary.
Salary. Mavis. World of Work. Nothing, there's no wrong answer.
Welcome back to me.
Okay. Bruce.
Finding a job.
Finding a job. It's very important. Dorietta.
What to wear?
What to wear for an interview.
Job
Or
tasks.
on the job.
Job tasks.
Job
Tasks.
tasks. Exactly. So we're going to have a speaker. Mr. George Nelson is coming around 6 o'clock. So we have some activities before then. But I wanted you guys to both have these. We passed them out today in Right Start 2. And we thought, hey, it would be good for Right Start 3 to have as well. So you may have seen these before when you guys took Right Start 2. But they are the most common interview questions and types of interviews. So the different types of interviews, the traditional interview, when everybody says interview, and Kevin, since you did the mock interview, this would probably be the traditional interview, right? It was one person asking you questions.
Yep.
Did you use the STAR method? Do you know what I mean by that?
For a few questions.
Okay. So for those of you who don't remember from Right Start 2, including you at home, the STAR method is a type of interview procedure where you answer the question, saying the situation, what's the T? Help me out, guys. Task, action,
Result.
Thank you. I didn't bring my paper. So it's a method of explaining what you did in a certain situation to demonstrate that you would be a good employee because of X, Y, and Z. Okay? So the questions that we gave you, the 23 common questions, you will want to practice using the STAR method and answering these questions. And the mock interview will help you with that as well. Okay? And the types of interviews, as I already mentioned, there's the traditional. How do you guys think a telephone interview is different? Okay.
You won't have to worry about your visual cues, ticks, what things up for.
Right. So sometimes it's harder because they can't see you and see your enthusiasm, so you have to come off a little, it's a little bit different. And a lot of days, was this you, Dorietta? We were talking about Skype. Was that you?
No.
No, that was one of my other students. They actually are doing Skype interviews more and more, and that's different than face-to-face as well, especially with technical difficulties and things, so you just have to be prepared for everything. So it's a little bit different. Panel interviews, we do this here in the ARC. Sometimes you'll have 3 or 4 people interviewing you at once. Group projects, sometimes they'll give you a task to do. I know when I interviewed for something, I actually had to do a presentation, a children's program for children at the library. And I didn't realize the whole time this woman was standing behind a panel watching me. And she came out from behind the panel when I was done. So I didn't know that. Simulations, they'll give you a situation. We've actually had people who interviewed for jobs here do like a typing test or a Excel exam to see if they knew their skills. I had to take a spelling test for a job once, and it was not great. I wanted to spell vacuum H-O-O-V-E-R, but I didn't think that would be appropriate. Joke, I joke. Okay. So I mentioned the testing. Lunch and dinner interviews, a lot of people think those are more casual, but you're always on the spot. You're always being interviewed. So that's not to say you can't let your guard down a little bit, but you're still on an interview, okay? And behavioral interviewing, those are where they give you situations and you have to explain what happened in the past. Okay? So we just want to make sure that you guys had these since we were talking about that. All right? Any questions about anything I said? No. Okay, so we're going to pause for just a second.